What's good, YouTube? Menace Steel here. If you clicked on this video, you probably fall under one of three categories. One being you're a beginner that's just trying to learn Pokemon Pocket, whether it's that you've never played a trading card game before or you've never played Pokemon before, and this will definitely help you. Number two, you're a casual to intermediate player that kind of has the ropes but wants to step it up to the next level or maybe try out a tournament. And number three, you're a family or friend that's watching my videos because you're trying to support me. I appreciate you dearly. And regardless of why you're here, this title is not an exaggeration. There is a 4-card formula, like 4 cards that you can stick into like almost any strategy, and it'll elevate it to like tier status, whether it's top tier or whether it's like successful in a tournament. Success really depends on like what you value. Maybe it's just winning more games online. Like, trust me, these 4 cards will get you there. Instead of listing off the 4 cards and have you take my word for it, let's take a look at multiple lists of varying power levels that have all seen tournament success. These lists are Gyarados EX that currently sits in tier 1 as this list won a 250 player tournament, Greninja that is currently considered tier 3 and finished top 8 in an 187 player tournament, Pidgeot EX which finds itself in tier 4 that has recently gone 9-0 in a very large tournament, and last but not least Blastoise EX which is currently off tier but achieved the top 16 finish in multiple tournaments including this one out of 145 players. But now I want to play a little game as we deconstruct these successful lists, and I want to start off by removing the namesakes of the decks. Thus we will black out Gyarados, Greninja, Pidgeot, and Blastoise. After this, the decks start to look far more alike. Let's go even further by blacking out the staple cards, which for those of you who don't know, a staple is a card that is played in essentially every deck regardless of strategy. In the case of Pokemon Pocket, we're looking at cards like Professor's Research and Pokeball. As you can see, these lists start to mirror themselves the more we look at their foundation. Let's take it a step further by removing supporters and items that don't overlap in these lists. Now my point's a little more clear, as you can clearly tell that despite this being a Gyarados deck, a Greninja deck, a Pidgeot deck, a Blastoise deck, at the core, at the essential, like what's making these decks successful, all land on these 4 cards. The 4 cards being Druddigon, Tauros, Leaf, and Giovanni. Believe me when I tell you that there is no coincidence or fluke to why these decks are being so successful. But before I could break down why they work so well in tandem to each other, let's go into the individual cards. Druddigon is a basic Pokemon with 100 HP. What makes it so strong and versatile is its ability Rough Skin, that as long as he is damaged in the active spot, the opponent's Pokemon takes 20 damage in return. On the surface, this might not seem like a big deal, but it truly makes a world of a difference in the meta we are currently in. An additional less common upside to Druddigon is certain strategies like Pidgeot incorporate water-fire energy, allowing Druddigon to actually threaten to attack, but in most decks you have no intentions of attacking with it. Tauros, on the other hand, is a basic colorless Pokemon also with 100 HP. Its attack being colorless allows it to be a valid attacker in any strategy, as its attack fighting tackle does a substantial 120 damage to EX Pokemon. Leaf is the closest thing to a staple on this list, as it is among the top 5 most played cards according to Pokemon Meta, but its ability to reduce retreat cost by 2 is essential in this 4-card formula, as both Druddigon and Tauros have their 2 energy retreat cost nullified by Leaf. Giovanni's the one card in this formula that doesn't come from Mythical Island, as it has seen play since the release of Pokemon Pocket, as its 10 damage boost allows your Pokemon to hit different ranges in the meta, and in this example it is no different. However, to truly understand why these 4 cards are so effective, we have to take a look at some of the most popular cards in the game. This list includes, but is not limited to, Mew EX, Mewtwo EX, Pikachu EX, Zapdos EX, Celebi EX, Aerodactyl EX, Articuno EX, and Starmie EX. Let's start by paying close attention to the HP of these Pokemon. Tauros' fighting tackle single-handedly knocks out Pikachu, but what if we throw in our Giovanni? Now Tauros is able to knock out even more targets. Let's take it one step further. What if they had to get through a Druddigon while you built up Tauros? That would leave every EX listed in range of Tauros' fighting tackle alongside a Giovanni. What makes this strategy so effective and versatile is that Druddigon and Tauros are just single point Pokemon. Thus, if your opponent happens to get by them, they still have yet to win the game, and that's where your Pokemon of choice comes in and gets the job done. The possibilities of this formula are countless, as even rogue strategies can make the most of it. And now that I've verbally explained why I think these 4 cards will win you more games in Pokemon Pocket, I can't think of a better way to end the video than to show you an in-game example. Alright, we're led Tauros against another water deck. All we're missing is Dratini, and we can start building that up. Okay, so not your standard water deck. He's probably playing just the colorless deck. That deck's been doing really good recently. We didn't get the Dratini, unfortunately, but he's not gonna be attacking anytime soon, so we'll just pass there. Regardless, the Dragonite line is always a turn behind energy-wise, so like if we see Dratini next turn, we're still on pace. Have they researched or anything? No, just Pokeball. Building up Pidgey. Okay, so this could get us to Dratini, and there's the 2 energies we need. Please, Dratini, Dratini. Nope. That's rough. Might as well build up the only actual attacker we have on board. Halfway through the deck, we have both Dratinis and a Pokeball. So like a third of our deck is still 30% if you want to be exact. He's on this Pidgeotto, which is interesting. There's the Dratini. Next turn he could pull up with the Pidgeot. And we kind of gave him the ability to knock us out, because Pidgeot does 120 here. I could protect his Tauros, but at the same time it doesn't do much for us to do so. Like if he wants to go Leaf, Pidgeot, and like, okay, we knew this much. Does he have the Leaf? The reason I didn't do anything is because like the Drotagon in the swapping with the Drotagon doesn't really change any of the numbers or the math that it takes to beat this guy right now. Yeah, so he didn't have it, so we gotta hope he either doesn't see it yet or okay. So we're getting close though. Now I think it's worth changing up because we see the light, right? We just need to buy turns now. There's almost like a reason to put Tauros down, as this one's like already like kind of starting to get there in a world where it could swing. Yeah, but since he's on colorless, like since this is a Pidgeot deck with this, we're playing the same supporters, right? Which is again, it leads to the video that I want to make, which is like our Pidgeot, our Venusaur, our Blastoise. Like, are any of these decks actually like good, or is it just like is the support so good that you could play anything with it? That's what I kind of want to try to prove with this Dragonite deck. But at the end of the day, Dragonite is a lower tier than the rest for a reason. No reason to do anything else here. I guess we could put the Tauros down like I wanted to earlier. Actually, no, let's keep the bench as simple as possible. Let's not fill up the bench because then this guy's swinging for 140. Not that it makes a difference when our lead is Dragonite. But keeping him at 120 makes it where even like this Drotagon hitting our Dragonite won't put us in range of losing, right? So let's go 4 here. He either was really holding the line with Drotagon, or just did not see Leaf or anything. And we have to get into the aggressive because this Drotagon being able to swing makes his deck automatically like a higher ceiling than ours. Let's see where this damage spreads out to though. Okay, we got a knockout in the back. Unfortunately, Pidgeot didn't get touched, which is not ideal, but like I said, he can't knock us out next turn, which is a good thing. And then we'll start building up Tauros, and maybe Tauros might help us with this Pidgeot. Also, he's limited to what he could put in the back line now. Like if he puts something in the back line, he's at risk of like Dragonite just spreading the damage and taking it over. Or he just completely commits to more targets. There's multiple ways of looking at it. Realistically, it's all chance, so this might help him win, this might give us the victory, like you never know. All right, so what's the best way to do it? I feel like these potions are pretty pointless. This blue might help though. We're gonna still go down in damage. I think one potion might be worth it because we're gonna go down to 30 if we hit this Drodagon, and we don't want Kangaskhan to like. I think one potion is worth it. But realistically, this could win us the game right here, and it did, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see. Gonna see where the damage went real quick. Yeah, GG's to our opponent. That's what this deck's supposed to do, and that's all thanks to. Now the question is it thanks to Dragonite, or is it thanks to Tauros and Drodagon? GG's. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider liking and subscribing, and above all else, stay pro.